Hi, I'm Mike. You may need to replace the motor on your GE washer model if you notice that your washer isn't working effectively or not at all. For this repair, you'll need a pair of Channellocks, a pair of pliers, a 1/4-inch nut driver, a 5/16 nut driver, a 7/16 nut driver, 2 putty knives, a flathead screwdriver, a set of Needlenose pliers, a hammer, a spanner wrench, and a 3/8 wrench. Before doing any repairs, completely disconnect your appliance from its power source. To begin a repair, we're going to loosen and remove the water inlet hoses from the water inlet valve of the washer. Next, we're going to remove the top control assembly. Using a 1/4-inch nut driver, we're just going to take out the screws from the back. Once all the screws have been removed, we're going to push up on the control assembly. We're just going to slide it out. So to make our repair easier, we're just going to unplug all the wires going to the main control board. And we're going to move the control assembly out of the way. Next, using 2 putty knives, we're going to clip into the front locks of the front panel. We're going to pop that out and remove it. Next, we're going to remove the 2 screws that hold the top of the washer in place of the washer cabinet. Once both those screws have been removed, we're just going to lift up on the front of the washer and slide it just a little bit out of position. Next, using a flathead screwdriver, we're going to push the lid switch through the top of the washer. We're just going to pull it out and slide it through. And after that, we're going to remove the top of the washer from the machine. And next, using a 1/4-inch nut driver, we're just going to remove those screws. So next, we're going to remove these white end caps. We're just going to slide those out with our hands. So next, we're just going to remove the back. We're just going to slide it to the side. Next, using a pair of Needlenose pliers, we're going to remove the water level switch hose. We're just going to slide that hose through. And we're going to remove this back metal plate and just place it to the side as well. Next, using a 5/16 nut driver, we're going to remove the 4 dampening straps from the tub. Next, we're going to remove the top cover of the tub. Just gently using your hand, you're just going to lift up on this clip and pull up. We'll do that all around the tub. So next, we're just going to lift the top cover of the tub out. So next, we're going to take the agitator out of the washer. I'm just going to lift up with our hand. And we're going to remove it. Next, using a 7/16 nut driver, we're going to remove the agitator nut. And once that's removed, we're just going to lift up and remove the agitator coupling. So next, we're going to remove the nut hub. We're going to do that by placing a spanner wrench on top of the nut hub. Using a hammer, we're going to make the nut hub become loose by hitting it in the direction where it says loosen. And once it's loose enough, we're going to remove that spanner wrench. And we're just going to take the hub off with our hands manually. So once that nut hub has been removed, next we're going to remove the inner tub of the washer. Be careful while you're doing this, you might need assistance. So next, using a pair of Needlenose pliers, we're going to disconnect the pressure hose from the side of the tub. After that, we're going to disconnect the drain hose from the tub as well. And once the drain hose has been disconnected, we're going to remove all of the wires from the motor and the motor frame. So next, we're going to disconnect any wires that are connected to any part of the tub. inside or outside. So we're going to disconnect the wire motors. So once all the rods have been disconnected from the washer, we're going to have to remove the 2 front rods in order to pull our tub out. We're just going to push up on the rods, push out the rod supports. So once both those support rods have been removed, next we're just going to push the tub out of the front of the washer on its side. We're going to lay it upside down just like that. So next we're going to remove the drive belt, and we'll do that by pulling up with it on the belt with our hands and sliding it off the pulley. Just like that. So next we're going to remove the screws that hold the motor into this bottom frame right here. So once all the screws have been removed, we're just going to pull the motor out. Next, grab your new OEM replacement motor. If you don't have one of these motors already, you can find one on one of our online stores. So we're going to take our new motor, we're going to slide it into the frame. So using our hands, we're just going to place all the bolts onto the motor just to hold it into place. So next we're going to tighten the screws with our wrench. We're just going to make sure that these 2 bumpers fit into the frame. This way the motor will be in the correct position. So next we're going to take our belt and we're going to place it around the motor. And then we're going to place it on the pulley. And we're just going to spin the pulley while holding the belt in place. So once your belt is secure, your motor has been replaced, you can now reassemble the washer. Next we're going to place the tub back into the washer cabinet. So we're going to do that by making sure that the counterweight is in front. And we're just going to lift up and place it in carefully. So next we're going to put in our front suspension rods. So once the front suspension rods are put into place, next we're going to connect the rear suspension rods to the tub. This way it'll be easier for us to connect the front suspension rod. So next we're going to connect the front suspension rods to the tub. So next we're going to connect the rear suspension rods to the tub the same way we connected the front ones. So next we're going to reconnect our drainage hose to the drainage pipe. So next we're going to reconnect all the wires to the motor and the motor frame assembly. So next we're going to reattach the pressure switch hose. So next we're going to place the inner drum back into the washer. And next we're going to replace our hub nut. We're just going to spin that into position with our hand. So next we're going to place our spanner wrench onto the hub nut. And using a hammer, we're going to tighten the hub nut tight enough so the tub doesn't move on the drive shaft. And once you notice that the hub nut is tight enough and secure, next we're going to replace our agitator coupling. And we're going to replace the agitator nut. Next, we're going to put on our tub cover. So next we're going to reattach our dampening straps. So next we're going to replace this back assembly. So next we're going to connect our pressure switch hose to the pressure switch. So next we're going to replace our agitator. I'm just going to place it on top just like this. We're going to open up the door. We're going to reattach the door switch. So once the door switch is in, next we're going to replace the foam on the inside of the back assembly. Next we're just going to slide the top of the washer into place. Next we're going to screw the top of the washer into the cabinet. Next we're going to replace the front panel of the washer. Next we're going to connect our control assembly. So once all the wires have been reconnected, next we're going to slide the display assembly into the washer. So next we're going to connect our water inlet hoses. And once you check to make sure that those hoses are nice and secure, your repair is complete. Finally, don't forget to plug in your appliance. Thanks for watching our video. Please like, comment, or share. And if you liked our video, please subscribe down below.